Ellie, that you?
Hello, teacher.
Hello. It's Ellie, right?
Yes,
Okay, so it's not Billy. Fine. Okay. How are you, Ellie?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm fine, thank you. Okay, so let's get on with it. So today we're going to sift through a lot of speaking tests. We're just going to look at some of the questions. So yes, let's start. Let me just put you guys up here on the screen. There we go. Kim, what time do you go to school each day?
Pardon?
What time do you go to school each day?
I always go to school
At what time?
at 7 o'clock.
Perfect. And you, Ellie, what time do you go to school?
I'm going to school at 12 o'clock.
Perfect. Okay. Now, Kim, what is the first thing you do when you get to school?
I usually study.
Okay, so I usually study. And you, Ellie, what's the first thing you do when you get to school?
Um, I usually talking with my friends.
I usually talk with my friends. Okay, just make sure there everything's fine. Okay, now, Kim, how many lessons do you have each day?
I have 5 lessons each day.
Perfect. And you, Ellie, how many lessons do you have each day?
I have 5 lessons each day.
Okay. Now, Kim, what time do you finish school?
I finish school at 11 o'clock.
Perfect. And you, Ellie, what time do you finish school?
I finish school at uh 4 o'clock.
At 4 o'clock. Okay. That was some of the first questions. Let's go see what other questions we can find. Okay. Kim, how many people are there in your family?
There are 4 people in my family. My father, my mother, my sister, and me.
Perfect. And in your family, Ellie, how many people are there in your family?
Um, my family have 4 people. Um, there are my dad, my mom, my baby brother, and me.
Excellent. Now, Kim, who is the oldest person in your family?
That's my father.
Okay, so we're going to make that answer a little bit longer. If you can please repeat after me, Kim. That would be my father.
That would be my father.
Excellent. And in your family, Ellie, who is the oldest person?
Can you repeat, please?
Who is the oldest person in your family?
Uh, it's my dad.
Okay. Now, Kim, do you go somewhere special with your family on birthdays?
Pardon?
Do you go somewhere special with your family on birthdays?
I usually go to the restaurant with my family on birthday.
Can you please repeat that answer for me?
We usually go to a restaurant on birthdays.
Yes. Okay. We actually restaurant is singular there, so you can say we usually go to a restaurant on birthdays. Perfect. Now, Ellie, do you often spend time with your family? And what do you usually do?
Um, I usually spend time with my family, and I um usually playing board play board game with my family.
Okay, so I usually spend time, oh, it's not usual, I usually spend time with them and we play board games together. So remember, if the question asks you about your family or what was the other word I usually ask you about, or hobbies, if the question contains words like your family or your hobbies, you don't have to repeat by saying my family, my hobbies. You can just use other pronouns like them, we. The examiner would know what you are talking about. Okay, so Ellie, can you please repeat that answer for me?
I usually spend time with them, and we play board games together.
Perfect. I usually spend time with them and we play board games together. Cool. Okay, so let me see if I can find some other questions here. We go down. Kim, are cinemas exciting?
Cinema always exciting.
Okay. And Ellie, do you think bus stations are dirty?
Um, I never go to the bus station. So I don't know.
Perfect. So I don't know. Okay. Now, Kim, I need you to give me a reason for why you think cinemas are exciting.
The film in cinemas are always good.
Excellent. Cinemas are always exciting. The films are always good. You can say it like that, or you can say because it's either you can choose between the two examples. You can either use because or you don't. You can just say the films are good. Excellent. Okay, so Kim, do you think bus stations are dirty?
I guess the bus stations are not dirty. I think all the bus stations are clean.
Okay, so look closely what I did here. Instead of saying the bus station again and the bus station again, I used the word they, referring to the bus station. Okay, so for the next questions, I want you guys to look closely at what other pronouns you could use to answer the questions, okay? So let's talk about hobbies. I know this is a question I asked you guys before, but I just want to practice something quickly. Kim, Ellie, what is your hobbies? Or what hobbies do you do in your spare time? Ellie,
Yes.
what hobbies do you do in your spare time?
I usually doing karate in my free time.
You can just say it like this. I usually practice karate because the examiner knows you are talking about your what you do in your free time. So you don't have to say in my free time, okay? And you don't have to say I usually doing. It's actually incorrect to speak that way. You can just say I usually practice karate, or you can say I usually do karate. Okay, so pick one of those two words and repeat the answer, Ellie.
I usually practice do karate.
Okay, so you pick practice, so repeat it again.
I usually practice karate.
Perfect. Okay, Kim, how often do you do your favorite hobby?
I often
Okay, so let's start this when or wait. How often do you do your favorite hobby?
I do my hobby 5 a week,
Twice a week.
5 a week.
Okay. So you can either say questions how often do you do your favorite hobby? Um Let me think how I'm going to write this without it being too short. So you said twice a week. Twice a week if I have spare time. Try that answer, Kim. Can you please repeat it?
Twice a week if I have spare time.
Perfect. That's also another way you can answer the question. You guys are doing good with this. Okay, let's go to some other questions. I don't want to stay too long on a certain group of questions. Oh, let's talk about seasons. Now, Ellie, which time of the year is special in your country?
I think it's that that festival.
The?
That festival.
Okay, can you please type that in the chat for me so I can see how you spell it?
T-E-T.
Oh, Tet Festival. Let me just make sure I got that one word correct. Yes, okay. I would say it is Tet, the Tet Festival. Can you please repeat that answer for me, Ellie?
I would say it's the Tet festival.
It is the Tet Festival. Okay, excellent. Kim, when are the school holidays in your country? Oh, let me ask you this first. How many school holidays do you have during the year in your country? I will ask again. Let me type it for you. How many school holidays do you have in your country?
There are 5 school holidays I have in my country.
You can just say there are 5 school holidays.
There are 5 school holidays.
Perfect. Okay. Ellie, tell me something about your favorite time of the year.
Uh, My favorite time of the year is that festival, and I usually join it. That festival at home with my family in January. And I cleaned it, the house, decorated
Okay.
the big blossom tree, and make decorate cake with my family.
Okay, well done. You can start with I love the Tet Festival. Okay. Or you could say my favorite is. Let me give you another example. My favorite is the Tet Festival, or I love the Tet Festival. Perfect. Okay. Now, Kim, who cooks the food in your family?
Pardon?
Who cooks the food in your family?
My mom usually cooks the food in my family.
You can just stop there. My mom usually cooks.
My mom usually cooks.
Perfect. Okay. Ellie, what kind of food do you eat every week?
Um,
Let me.
I usually eat rice and cake every week.
Rice and
Cake
cake.
every week.
Okay. You can just say that. I usually eat rice and cake. Okay. You don't have to add the every week or in your family or in your town or in your country. You can just stop before you want to say that. I usually eat rice and cake. You can also say I usually eat vegetables, for example. Come on, vegetables and meat. Um, you don't have to say during the week. You can, it's not wrong, but you need to decide with which questions you're going to add that little extra and which are you going to not add a little extra. Okay. Now, Kim, where does your family buy food from?
My family buy food from the market.
Perfect. Or you can just say buys food at the market. That's also correct. Can you say it with me? My family buys food at the market.
My family buys food at the market.
Excellent. Okay. Let's go find some other questions. Give me the mouse. Thank you. Ellie, when does the weekend start for you and your family?
Can you repeat, please?
When does the weekend start for you and your family? Okay, let me try and explain it. So, on the calendar, we have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Now, usually people regard Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as the weekend. But most people work on Friday and work on Saturday. So for some people, their weekend starts on Saturday afternoon. So when does the weekend start for you and your family?
It's on Friday.
Okay. Now you can say our weekend starts on Friday. Did you say Friday?
Yes.
Okay. You can just repeat that answer for me.
Our weekend starts on Friday.
Perfect. Okay, Kim, do you play any sports on the weekend?
I always play badminton in
Perfect.
the weekend.
You can just stop there. I always play badminton. That's also a perfect answer. Badminton. Or you can be specific. You can say, I always play badminton on Saturdays, for example. But thank you, guys. Our time is over. I will see you guys again. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, teacher. See you again.
Goodbye, teacher.